So, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. You're welcome today. You're welcome to another conversation. And today's conversation is a very, very amazing conversation. We are having the conversation today with Dr. Alexander Marful, who is giving us a new concept, a concept that is going to blow our minds today, a concept that can develop our continent, the African continent, and who should develop this African continent if not you and me. I am welcoming you all wherever you're watching from, wherever you are. You're welcome. You who is listening from YouTube. I appreciate that you're taking your time out and you're joining us for this other business conversation. I welcome you who is watching also from Facebook. Thank you for being part of us. This is your platform. This is your space, a space whereby we come to learn from one another. Remember, iron sharpens iron, and of course, networking is a key. We come here with network with the different businessmen and businesswomen, people who have put their hands into the mud, who understand what they are saying, who have put those things into practice, and they are giving us their know-hows, and especially giving that because they want to impact your life, they want to impact our lives, they want to impact the world in which they are living. Thank you so very much for taking your time. Before I leave, remember today our topic is on a sustainable business model for Africa, and Dr. Alexander Marful says it is prosumers. So prosumers is a new business model that can push the African continent in a very to develop themselves. And he says prosumers is like making customers part of your production. And I think that it is the time for us now to put the customers and the producers together. Welcome with me today, Dr. Alexander Marful. Doctor, you're welcome. Good afternoon or good evening. I don't know what time is it now where you are.
Yeah, where I am is good evening. Thank you very much, Vera, for Mr. Ompong, for such a wonderful opportunity. I'm very grateful that gotten the opportunity to be able to be part of this conversation, and I understand that it's a prelude to the main workshop that will be taking place in August. So I might not go into all the details, but we're going to have a fair idea. My name's Alexander Marful, and I'm an architect by infrastructure planner by profession, and a teacher by vocation. I say a teacher by vocation because I teach also at the university as well, and teach also in the church as well. And I was very happy when you asked that I should be part of this conversation, because I think that based on our long-standing relationship that we knew each other already, there are some of the things that you already know me to be doing. That is, in 2006, we've been a social enterprise, Clean Africa, community level environmental awareness network in Germany, with some students in Germany, and now most of them are in Africa, and this organization is still working in African countries. And by next year, we will be moving into Clean International, where we'll be looking at Clean Asia, Clean Africa, Clean Europe, and other things. But the key thing is, after the social enterprise, apart from teaching at the university, I also have two businesses. I have one construction firm, which is Mini Creations. We construct, and we call it Mini Creations because when you dream, we build it, and we do it in a very wonderful way. And we also have Spaces. Spaces is an architectural, engineering, and planning firm where we have our workers working on a lot of projects and also assisting a lot of German companies who are also working in Ghana as well. So we are here and we are doing a lot of stuff, and I think this conversation is very important because based on my experience from scriptures, my experience from staying in Germany and now back at home here in Ghana, I think what Africa needs is prosumers.
Thank you so very much. That was a fabulous introduction. And of course, thank you very much. I'm so grateful. You're one of those that I say have mentored me in diverse ways, maybe unconscious to you. And you have been somehow a kind of backbone even to my own social company. And thank you very much that you're part of the conversation. Yes, like you said, in August from the 17th to the 22nd of August, we are having the Business Masters class. And the Business Masters class came as a result of the refugees in 2015. And it was our own way and approach to help the continent so that our young people should not die in the Mediterranean Sea. So we just decided to empower them through developing their own businesses and becoming self-employed, or again create businesses so that they can work together with other people. So yes, I'm so happy that you're going to be one of the trainers and one of the teachers. And of course, I'm hoping that I'm going to win you to be a coach to some of the young people. And that's why I use this platform to welcome everyone who is online now, hoping that we're going to meet definitely for the in-depth studies of today with Dr. Alexander Marful. That's going to be in August. So please book the ticket already, book your own space so that you're not lost. Today, Doctor, we are talking on a sustainable business model for Africa. And you say prosumers is a new model. This is your platform as we welcome other people. Thank you for being here. Tell us more about prosumers.
Yeah, prosumers is not something which is very new per se. That's by one business researcher, Alvin Toffler, in 1980, wrote in his book, The Third Wave. And one of the things that he mentioned was the possibility of putting the consumer and the producers as one entity in a value chain. And after 30 years later, or 40 years from 1980 up to this time, a lot of businesses have evolved and other things. And now most of the most successful businesses that we can see today are all prosumers. Let's look at Facebook. Facebook is one of the most successful businesses and other things. Before Facebook, we had what we call website designing. People were supposed to do their own personal blog. You go and do website. But all that Facebook did was to give you the skeleton of the interface that you need, and then you will continue the process. So you being the customer has become also a web designer. You bring your own pictures, you bring your own content, and you populate it. And at the end of the day, Facebook becomes popular and popular and popular and bigger. Then look at TikTok, look at YouTube, look at IKEA. IKEA too, from the other side, who is not also not. If you go there and you want to buy a product, you buy the product, you have the manual, but at the end of the day, you become also a carpenter. As you go home, and then you go and continue doing the work that you are supposed to do. So it is engaging customers in the production conception, that's development and commercialization. So at times, customers become your brand advocates. At times, customers become your masons. Customers become your carpenters. So you let customers become part of the production line or your business experience. So the prosumer experience normally try to take the story that previously we said that do it yourself, that DIY is. But this one, it is what do it with others. So when you pick up the thing, when you go to Facebook and you finish, you end up bringing your friends in. So you don't, the product doesn't end with you. You become a brand advocate. You go and bring your friends in. Your friends help you even to shape your page and all those sort of things. So we're saying that prosumers, if you are going to actually look into how Africa post-COVID is really going to survive, we really need to start thinking smart and start looking at the possibility of allowing whatever that we are doing. If you are a seamstress, what is it that you can do to make sure that your clothing line, you don't finish up to the end, but part of it, your customers also continue the design or continue the production line. Or even if you are a food chain, you are even selling. And in August, one of the key inspiration that you will be taking from is going to actually be based on scripture. That's one of the lessons that I've learned so much from the little business that I have done and experience that I've done. A lot of the things that we do in business have their roots in the Bible. So most of the successful businessmen in the continent, everywhere else, always use most of the principles that is in the Bible. Bible says, "Give and it shall be given unto you, good measure." And a lot of the businessmen always give. Look at Warren Buffett and even Bill Gates. They give, and it's always giving back to them. And this time now, we'll be looking at Solomon, how he wowed the Queen of Sheba, the experience that he actually did. And all these things that we'll be doing, the prosumer experience for Africa will all be hinged on customer service, because a lot of the African businesses don't understand the essence of customer service. They have magnificent and wonderful products, be it cocoa, be it coffee, be it sugarcane. They have wonderful products. There are times vegetables, they have wonderful products. But at the end of the day, their customer service is something else. But this time around, we're going to learn how we're going to use customer service to turn customers or consumers into producers in August. So if you have not made up your mind yet, try as much as possible to be part of this whole business masterclass. And another thing that I just want to let us also to understand is that when the customers come, or you're going to learn about when the customers enter your shop, or when the customers come to your business, what do you have to do? What are the things that they need to do? Or what do you have to also to do to make sure that you retain them, and at the end of the day, they become part of the production line? You'll be learning all these things. And even if you are in the church, now the church itself is also another business line, because the church ministry is also people's main calling, and that is what they are doing. If you want to be successful, you will need to look again into how Solomon treated the Queen of Sheba. You can turn your church members to be prosumers. They are not just coming to consume what you are telling them, but they will be part of your ministry. They are the one who is going to actually expand the ministry for you. Your church members are going to help you with the church growth. Your church members are the one who are going to actually help you expand, not you and your church leaders. And at the same time, too, whichever business that you have, your customers are the ones who are going to expand your business, the one who is going to make your business big. And as I said, the whole issue about sustainability is about social inclusion, which you try to be sustainable and you reduce waste. You try to be sustainable and reduce waste, so that at the end of the day, whatever that you are doing, it will end up making sure that we do not spend more than we actually are producing. And the other thing before I actually run up with this introductory message is the fact that the prosumers too, there are three types of prosumers. You have those who actually the producers and the consumers, and at the same time the brand advocates, and also at times the semi-professional consumers. All these are prosumer types, which also have examples of already existing businesses. And I must tell you, to be frank with you, this concept is what I'm trying in my field of architecture engineering, trying as much as possible to use to be able to retain my customers. And even in the field of teaching, I try as my students are my clients and my customers. And I also use this even in the classroom, and it works effectively. So wherever that you are, whatever that you, and even if you are a wife or a husband, it is also possible to apply this even in your home. You can let your clients, if you're a wife, your husband and your children might be your clients, and they could be part of your production, whatever that you produce or whatever that you are giving to them. If it is food, is it possible that you start the meal in such a way that your husband or your children will be part of the finishing of the food, or even the setting of the table, so that they come and eat? And normally when it is done that way, they appreciate what goes into it, and they even eat the food and even consume everything. Then when they come from outside, by the time they come, everything is set on the table. That is when somebody will say that there's too much salt, there's too much that. But if they were part of the production line, they will appreciate every ingredient that went into it. So, in the nutshell, I must say that prosumers is one of the major things that we need in Africa post-COVID to let our businesses thrive. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Doctor. This is an eye-opening and it is so amazing because we are seeing the examples and you're giving one example after the other, and it's so clear in our eyes. And when you were talking, I was like, hey, wait a minute. If he's taking his examples also from the Bible, can one say that the Bible is a business book?
Oh, yes, the Bible is a business book because for almost every aspect of your life, and business is one aspect of your life. If you want to actually go by it, even one of the basic, the golden rule, do unto others what you want others to do unto you. You go by it, you will not fail. So most of the things that are in over there, and you know that in business, if you read Kiyosaki's book on Rich Dad Poor Dad, what it says, when you play and you also play the game, anytime you give a donation, you are able to jump 2 or 3 steps. You're able to do big deals. You're able to do other things. And it's the same thing in the church as well. That's why I said, give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, will he cause men to give unto you. So at times, people who don't even know the Bible uses some of these principles and they get the favors. If you do a donation to the charity, you give to the orphans, you give to the whatever, you end up, people try to give you to buy your product because they know that when they buy this pure water or this water, at 20 cents or 20 pesos or 20 shillings is going to the blind. So if I'm somebody who wants to give to the blind, I'll continue buying because I know that anytime I eat this particular this, it is going to the, and you end up getting more customers. So it is just a matter of understanding which aspect of it and how you are going to apply it. And those who are applying it properly always reap from it. And that is the reason why I said that we'll be looking at Chronicles and that experience of Solomon as per the Muslims or as per every other religion. Everybody knew he was the wisest. So if you want to be wise, why don't we go to the wisest person who have ever lived to understand how he did and why? And he was also the richest. So for the amount of money he had at that time, nobody right now had ever even gotten it. So why don't we learn from him the basic principles that he applied? And then we'll be able to also to streamline our lives as well. And even if you're not a Christian, as long as you are applying the principles, you'll be reaping the benefit.
So someone is just texting me now on my phone. I think the people watching from YouTube, thank you very much, and asking me, but what if I am not a Christian? I'm an atheist. I don't believe in the Bible. I don't read the Bible. How can these principles? Is that a global principle that works for every person?
Yes, it's a global. As I said, I don't know the religion of Alvin Toffler. Alvin Toffler wrote his book, The Third Wave, and he mentioned prosumers. I don't know the religion of Facebook. I don't know the religion of the person who did YouTube. I don't know the religion of IKEA, the man who or whatever. But what I'm saying is that the principle that they use and what they are actually sustaining this is all based on the principle of getting the prosumer. And I'm just adding this aspect to it to tell you that even if you are a believer and you think that these guys are not believers, so maybe they are doing something dubious, then go to Solomon and see what Solomon also did. So it's a general principle that even without the Bible, you can still get it. But this is, if you don't believe in the Bible, just take it as a story. I hope all of us also know about the Cinderella story. You read about Cinderella and you read. So if you can read Cinderella, if you're a Ghanaian, you read Anansi stories, and you can read Jack and the Giant Killer. You can read all those stories. Take it that this is one of the stories. And I'm using the story to tell you the principle that rich people have also used. So assume that you don't even believe it. Take it that it's a story.
Thank you so much, Doctor. This is eye-opening. This is eye-opening, mind-blowing. I want to welcome again all our viewers, you which watching from the YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for always taking part, and thank you for your encouragement and your support. I hope that we are putting you into the production line, being the prosumers. I hope that we are going to be able to make use of this concept, because I'm seeing the importance of it, and definitely I'm going to learn from the wisest man on earth. Doctor, in your presentation, you said that we want to help the people from the do it yourself, that is the die, into the do it with others. Can you throw more light on that? Especially in these days whereby we see people fighting for the least little idea. I had a conversation some few days ago, and I saw two people really fighting, and many people even nowadays really fighting on, this is my idea, this is my point, this is my this. How then can we bring in these people to understand that it is time to do it with others? If
Okay,
there's a
thank you very much.
step-by-step way to go about it.
That's a very good question. I'll just give you a brief summary of it, but if you want the details, because as I said, in August, we're going to have a workshop, so where we will give you a step-by-step approach. But if there are many times that we tend to think that I've gotten an idea and this one is mine, please, you are wrong. Anytime an idea gets into your head, remember, about 100 people or 1,000 people also elsewhere have also gotten the same idea in their head.
Wow.
But the only difference is that you might be the boldest one to actually try to implement it. But whilst you're trying to implement it, others are also still contemplating and trying to do it. And it's always good to be innovative. And that is why in this particular workshop, I've authorized that we're going to be picking some trends. We're going to be picking some trends, seeds from some trends that I have already outlined that you'll be using. But the key thing that we have to understand is that if you have an idea and somebody also have an idea which is similar, all that you have to find out is that where are the places, where is the nuances where I can benefit from it. For instance, for instance, Clean Africa is into community level environmental awareness network. Some on social services is also into sustainability, is into racism, is into all these things. At the end of the day, Clean Africa cannot say that some point you are doing our things, or some point cannot that why are you taking my thing. The only thing that you have to find out is that if you are into sustainability, what are the areas of sustainability that I can do, and I can also bring some point inside also to help. I think last month we had this discussion on the BW strategy, yes. African in Blick strategy, yes. Where we invited you to be part of it.
Yes.
And today I'm here. Today I'm here trying to be part of this conversation. Exactly. So if you are into dealing with migrants in Germany, and somebody is into migrant fathers in Germany, all that you have to do is that, okay, this person is doing migrants in Germany, this guy is doing migrants fathers, then there are also migrant grandmothers, and there are migrant children, and there are migrant youth, and there are migrant students. Is it possible for me to take the migrant students where I will need the migrant fathers people to come and help? When you do that, you realize that you can add your synergies, and you'll be able to get the work done effectively. And when we are getting the work done effectively, your clients, which is the students, you'll be able to put up your head together and get systems in place to let your client become part of the production line that we are talking about. And getting the production line in place is what is one of the most important things. Your consumers becoming part of the production. That is where we call it the prosumers. When your consumers become part of the production conception, and at times even the design stage for those of us in the construction industry, our clients always become part of the production design stage. And then when it gets to the construction or whatever, they are also part of it. So for this particular scenario, there is no need for you to fight. There is competition. Market competition do exist, but it's always good to know who are your competitors. How do I do get a niche that I will be able to adapt and get the synergies? Although Facebook is there, There's also YouTube. But you realize that Facebook and YouTube are all surviving. Although Instagram is there, TikTok is there. Some way, somehow, TikTok is surviving. Instagram is also surviving. Though you realize that at the end of the day, because they have utilized the customers as part of the production line, they are not afraid, because at the end of the day, the customers are those who are actually even making the business go. So you get your customers who come to you when you are actually treating them well, your customer service. And that is why I'm putting the issue concerning Solomon. If you look at the experience that the Queen of Sheba had with Solomon, she never experienced that before and even after that. And that is that type of experience that by the time we finish with our training session, I want you to learn, so that any customer that comes to your place, they never experienced. Before Facebook or WhatsApp came, there was Yahoo Messenger. Where is Yahoo Messenger? Where is
No
Yahoo
idea.
Messenger? Before
No idea.
are you getting it? So
this is amazing.
When you
This is an amazing conversation, Doctor. Please, we have to stay on the line again and stay on this customer service. What do you mean by customer service? What does that entail, customer service? In a good customer service?
When we talk about a good customer service, I will still go back to the experience that Solomon, because it gives me a visual architecture or a visual this in that the bankers will tell you something, the salesperson will tell you something. But if you look at the experience that Solomon had, that is 2 Chronicles chapter 9, 3-4. It says, when the Queen of Sheba had seen the wisdom of Solomon and the house that he had built, the food on his table, the sitting on of his servants, the service of his waiters, and the apparel, his cupbearers, and the entryway by which he went to the house, there was no more spirit in her. There was no more spirit. When they say there's no more spirit in someone, that means the person is so wowed that to the fact that he's even about to collapse.
Yes.
That is, if your customers ever experience that in your business, that is customer service.
Wow.
If you're able to bring them to that particular point where somebody enters your premises and he's so wowed by the way the security man is at the entrance, the way you receive him, the way you service him, the way you even follow up after him or her, and he finished and said that, wow, these guys are good. Then at the end of the day, you have a customer whom you can then use as part of your production. That you have almost gotten a worker for free.
Wow.
Because actually a lot of us,
I'm saying wow.
A lot of us, yes, a lot of us have not gotten any. I don't have any experience in carpentry, but you enter IKEA, you are so amazed about the way they are doing their things. The product is cheap, all the things, whatever it is. You buy the thing, you go home, you read the manual, you become a carpenter.
Yes, that's true.
And you are happy, and you go back again. But you never went to a carpentry school. And some of us have never learned web designing. How come you are on Facebook and you are still having your page being designed? You are designing your page eventually. You are the one designing Facebook's whatever, all the individual over whatever millions of whatever, you are all individual designers helping Facebook get a bigger platform. And the same to YouTube. Look at YouTube. YouTube does not teach you how to produce films. At the end of the day, you produce your film, you go and help, you produce it, you edit, you go and put it over. At the end of the day, you have become a producer and an uploader of whatever it is, and then YouTube becomes popular, and then you are part of the production. Look at Uber.
Oh my word, this is an eye-opening conversation.
Almost all the big businesses that are surviving currently, you check it critically, they have the prosumer concept in line, apart from whatever other concept that they are using. But all that I want to tell us is that that is the reason why if you pick an Uber and you give him the stars, you give him a negative stars, they start crying because it's the customer's feedback. Customer service has become a very serious thing that if you give a bad feedback, and the reason why Facebook was having problems recently concerning the issues that the companies were now taking their adverts away because customers complained, they didn't listen. So if you don't serve your customers well, they took a lot of millions, went away. Coca-Cola went away, everybody. Customer service is the number one. A lot of African companies, after they have gotten some few euros, dollars, money. They don't care who you are. When you come, they want to shout, and there's a long queue. Why do you want somebody bringing money to you to stand in a long queue?
Oh,
So why should you keep somebody with
I was going to come to that now with with the customer service and the African mindset, or at least the people in our community that I know. I have seen business people that you will respectable business people that are doing well. They develop great things, and they do statements like, well, I don't care, if you want to come, you come, if you want to join, you join, if you want to be part of us, you be part of us. What is that? Is that do we need to work on their mindset, or we say it is still part of the community and that's okay?
That part, no, that part of it is where they lack the wisdom. You see, that's the reason why I wanted to tell you that I use the King Solomon's listen, when the Sheba saw experience his wisdom, when he experienced his wisdom, he and the rest of the things, the food, the house, the service, the seating, the apparel, the entryway, when you add all those things together, you get a customer service. But if you take away the wisdom, which is core competence, and at times some of them is that arrogance, always anybody who is arrogant like that always doesn't end up well. So I wouldn't advise any of us who is on the platform right now to even to think about it, because it is not a good thing. If you get some small, you become known. Look at all the rich guys or anybody who has been successful. They are very humble, and they always want to listen to the customer.
They're very humble.
They always want to listen to them.
And
yeah, always. And at times we have the external customers and the internal customers. You get it? The internal customers are your employees. At times, some of us, if you have workers, if you have volunteers, you management, your internal customers are your volunteers. If you service them well, you think about them and you help them with all these things, same thing that they will also transmit this to the external customers. And if you pepper them, you didn't do anything to them, you don't let them become comfortable, you let them be so stressed and all that, they end up giving the same type of thing, and then garbage in, garbage out there. So we need to take care of the internal customers and then external customers. And then you realize that you as a business owner, your internal customers will be helping you build your own business. And then the entire corporate organization as well, your external customers will be helping you build a bigger business. That's what I'm talking about. And so on the 17th, in August, we will learn some basic things that we have to do and try to experience some of the things ourselves, and then follow it up, because I don't believe one-time sitting always helps you to do so. Then there will be a follow-up discussions that will help you be able to then try as much as possible. So please, if you are not part of it right now, try as much to be making up your mind as well.
This takes me to yes, I just can encourage all the listeners, if you're here and you've not yet registered for the Business Masters class, do that. It will help you. The Business Masters class is going to take place from the 17th to the 22nd of August. It's an intensive one-week program, a crash course for business people, or if you want to improve your business, or again, like Dr. Alexander Marful is saying, have to know, get more knowledge about customer services, then this is a platform that you should not miss. You have to register at the academy.sompon-socialservice.org, the link you're going to have below. Doctor, we continue with the conversation. You mentioned and you kept talking about the experience of Solomon and Sheba. I would like to have more details about that. And then you said Sheba was really marveled at the wisdom of Solomon. And you said wisdom means the application of knowledge. Now, my question is, how do we learn to apply the knowledge we have heard? Because many people have heard once in their lifetime what customer service is. Many people have heard in their lifetime that it's important to work with one another strategically. Many people have understood, at least, that it is good fun to learn about and to know your competitors. Now, for me, the question will be, are there some tools, some tips, some tricks? How can one apply the knowledge we have already received? Because after this, people should be able to apply this knowledge you're giving to us for free. They should be able to apply it. How do we do that?
Yeah, I would say that I'll just give you the tidbits. As I said, in August, we will look into it critically. One of the key areas that I wanted to we will be looking at on August is that I said wisdom is a correct application, not just application of knowledge, because at times the application of it can be disastrous, but it's the correct and the useful application of knowledge that we are talking about. If you look at it critically, all that we'll be doing you have to the consistency, whatever knowledge that you have, your consistency, your continuous improvement, that continuous improvement. You'll be doing critical thinking. You'll be looking at what you mean by critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you look at it, you will also be looking at mentoring. Mm-hmm. All these things happened happened for Solomon to actually become the wise person that he became.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was properly mentored. He actually had proper listening over there as well. And then we also have to make sure that the mentoring that we are looking at, it is not just any role model that we are actually being mentored under, but you are getting a proper role model who you'll be accountable to. And then the next thing that you'll also be looking at is, how to deal with innovation, how to be innovative as well. In the lessons, we'll be looking at innovation. Innovation actually is a proper implementation of strategic creativity. Wow. So we'll be looking at how do you actually deal with making sure that there is profitable implementation of your strategic creativity. And then within that period, you will look at certain things that we will be able to try our hands on being creative with certain seeds that will be making available to all of us. Mm-hmm. So for this application of wisdom, all that I want to say is that you develop it over time. The knowledge you need to accumulate, you need to read, that's why you are going to school. That's why you are coming for this master class. But after that, there are a lot of the things that you have to put, the building blocks. How do you get these building blocks? These building blocks within this 3-4 days, the 1 week, you will be exposed to them so that you will then be able to go practice them. And if you want to ask me, it's just like asking somebody, how do you ride a bicycle? The only way to ride a bicycle is to sit on the bicycle and move.
Amazing.
Because you can read about the bicycle riding, read about the dangers of riding a bicycle and all those, but so you sit on the bicycle and they leave you for you to move so that you fall down and get up again. You will never be able to ride a bicycle. So after we have done that, after the class, you'll be giving the certain tidbits, and then we will allow you to sit on your own bicycle to apply all these things to see how best you'll be able to apply what you have learned to get to be able to apply consumer in every area of your business or your ministry.
Oh, this is amazing, Doctor. Thank you so very much. I take you now very back again to the former discussion. We were talking about stealing ideas and copying ideas, because that's what is also very rampant in the community. I hear a lot of people talk about others stealing their ideas. I hear a lot of people say we are copying and pasting idea, and it is becoming really, really, really a big thing in the community. And you said that the moment you are thinking, you're just thinking about an idea, a whole lot of hundreds of people are also having that same idea, same time. And the difference is the boldness to implement and the innovation. Tell us more about boldness and innovation. It means that for business people, as a good business person, or again, a social entrepreneur, whatever, we need some characteristics. Boldness is one of them, and innovation. Tell us more about innovation and boldness in implementing ideas.
Yeah, and for us, anytime, as I said, anytime an idea enters your head, whether you want to get a new type of hairdressing salon or a barber shop or a food chain or a specific type of consultancy, when the thing gets into your head, remember that other hundreds of people are also getting the same thing. The difference is that a lot of people are afraid to even to start, and that comes with the same thing about the bicycle riding. A lot of people have read about how to read the bicycle, and they spend so much time in what we call paralysis by analysis.
Okay.
You spend so much time analyzing, and by the time you realize you are paralyzed, you cannot even move because you know all the problems that comes with riding the bicycle, but you don't have the guts to even to start it. So I guess by the time you just have to stop thinking, you just have to stop analyzing and try your hands on it, and then you correct yourself. And that is the reason why, if you see, I like the Americans, especially the software producers, they have version 1, version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, because the version 1 has a lot of problems. And they put it out there, the individual, they become you now, and they create what they call chat rooms and forums. And you realize that they have used the customers to start solving their problems. In the chat room, you put a question there, the customers come and solve their. So they themselves, the customer service section of the software developers, they are sitting somewhere and watching, and you see customers solving each other's problem. That is what I call the prosumer concept.
Wow, this is amazing.
So you end up, if you really want to do it, that's what I say. You have to be innovative, but at the end of the day, you have to be bold to launch it out. And in the same way, too, if you look at even some porn social service, when you started, how many people didn't tell you that it won't work? How many people didn't tell you that you are but unless you are bold to say that I will do it, even it is better to try it and fail than not even to try it at all. And at the end of the day, when you, as I said, innovation, after you have been bold enough, you have to be innovative. Not that you be bold and then you stay there, or else the world is almost like this treadmill. It's just like a treadmill. If you stand still, you will fall down. So you have to continuously moving. You have to continuously moving. You have to continuously moving. And it is only when your pace and then the treadmill is synchronizes, then it looks as if you are standing at one place. But immediately you move faster than the treadmill, you'll be going forward. But when you go slower than the treadmill, it will take you down and it will fall down. So the world of business, unless if you want to just maintain the status quo, then please, you still have to be innovative to be able to meet the pace because it is changing.
Yes.
Or you have to be faster so that you can go forward. But if you stand still, you will fall out. So you have to be innovative. And innovation is what we call profitable implementation of strategic creativity. And as I said, you'll be learning more about this thing in August. There's a whole lot of things over there for us to look at. And as I said, that is a very practical thing that will be giving the seeds for us to pick. Everybody will be picking some seeds, and then you move into working groups where you then come up with what ideas that you are getting out of the seed to be able to go and implement in your business or even as a new business idea altogether. So I'm expecting that by the time we finish that workshop, those of us who have businesses will be having what we call business innovation and enterprise. That's an innovation that is going to happen internally. Or those who didn't have business at all will have something to go and start with.
Wow.
And then maybe they can later on come for your seed money to then go and test their ideas.
Thank you so much, Doctor. You are such an amazing teacher. No wonder you say you're a passionate teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you. For those who are just joining us today, we have the conversation with Dr. Alexander Marful, and he is bringing up a new model concept for Africa. He believes that the prosumers is the new business model concept for Africa, and that is making customers part of your production. And he says that this way, because YouTube have done that, Facebook have done that, IKEA have done that. If we start applying such models, such concepts, then we are able to also have an inclusive social inclusion in Africa and, of course, develop the continent. And Dr. Marful is going to be one of the teachers and one of the trainers, as well as a coach for our master's program that is taking place on the 17th, from the 17th to the 22nd of August. Please, if you've not registered, registered, you can now go to the academy.sompon-social-service.org to register. The space is not really plenty, so make sure you book your own. I know that you need this conversation. It's a very important conversation, and of course we want to have you become also part of our production. Thank you for being there, ladies and gentlemen. Doctor, we have people watching now. We are having Osas who said well said. I think she said well said to the topic of be innovative, because when you have an idea, many people, hundreds of people are having that same idea at the same time. And we are having also Mirabel China watching. Thank you, Mirabel, for being here. And she said, thank you, doctor. So I guess she's still thanking you for the insights you're giving to us. 1 hour is always rushing, doctor. But of course, I still have a question for you. And if I go into my question, doctor, if you had to really give us, if let's assume that this was the last chance we're going to meet, I know we're going to meet again in August for sure, and we're going to always talk. What would you tell business owners, young people who are still struggling to come up and they are having difficulties and have not yet understood the concept of bringing their customers and, of course, their production together? How should we go about it?
Yeah, I have to say that a lot of us, if you are starting something or you are thinking about starting something, there is no quick fix, a special pill that when you pick it up and you swallow it, all of a sudden the problems will go away. But there are steps that you can go through for you to actually start the business that you want to do or whatever that you're doing, to be able to survive and also excel. And one of the things that I want to actually look at is this prosumer concept. As I said, is a prosumer concept. And then the key thing about that particular part is that by the time you will be finishing, or if you are somebody who don't have any mentor at all, please look for a mentor. And if I say a mentor, look for somebody who have already done what you want to do and you want to understand it. Because mentorship is very, very important. At times you might not know, the person might not know you, but you need to read about the person, go into the person's history, try to understand everything, his mindset, everything about the person. And then indirectly the person will be mentoring you, and then also participate in some of these trainings to be able to get much. That is where you'll be getting the knowledge. And after you have gotten the knowledge, then comes in the wisdom. After you have gotten the knowledge, then how do you correctly and rightly apply what I call make it wisdom? And then that is what I would say, that then consistency in what you are doing. In the long run, consistency beats intelligence, raw talent, and skill. Anybody who is consistent, it will beat intelligence and raw talent and skill. But because you are consistent in doing what you are doing, Sompon Vera is not the most intelligent social entrepreneur in Stuttgart or in Germany, and you might not be the most having the most talented whatever social entrepreneur or the most skillful social. But when you are consistent in doing what you are doing, every time you do a little by little, and the same way, that is how the ants they behave. A big tree can be one day you'll be there, no, the tree will just fall boom. Consistency, they chop a bit of the fiber of the tree trunk, small, and the day the small wind blows, the big tree falls. That you have to be consistent and continuous improvement. Always add some value to yourself. Add value to yourself first. You try as much as possible. And critical thinking is also one of the very basic things that you need to also to adopt. And as I said, when you come for the masterclass, the critical thinking aspect part and also the mentoring already, as I said, the mentoring, critical thinking, consistency, and then at the end of the day, you also need continuous improvement. If you add this to yourself, you will be able to definitely, as I said, it's not a one-day pill. If you add it to yourself, wherever that you are, if you're an employee and you do this, you become a successful employee. If you are a business person, you do this, you become a successful business person.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a minister, a man of God, and you are consistent, you don't talk, you don't say this and be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't preach A and you will be doing C.
Mm-hmm.
You are consistent in what you preach and with
Mm-hmm.
what is in the Bible. You will definitely succeed. And at the same time, you improve yourself. You get to understand now everybody is online. If you don't improve yourself and you are waiting for everybody to come back to the church, by the time you get there, there is nobody there because you should improve yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, you need to have critical thinking. That is how to help you. It will help you solve problems. It will help you be creative, openness, and even strategically think properly when you are about to even to be innovative. So those four things are the main things that I want to leave with you: critical thinking, seek for mentoring, be consistent, and at the end of the day, continuous improvement.
Oh, thank you so very much, Doctor. This is one of my best conversations so far. I mean, we've had amazing conversation, great women that have come and spoken great stuffs. And today was just like, this is also a very powerful conversation. And what I get from the conversation is the aspect that we have to de-woo. So it's like, do it with others. That's a very important aspect of prosumers, that we do it with others. You've given a lot of examples from companies like YouTube, Facebook, that are doing it with others, and so the customers become part of the consumption and the production. And then you also mentioned the fact that we have to get back to in-depth knowledge, and the application of correct knowledge helps us, and brings us to wisdom. You took the example of Solomon and of course Sheba, and then I asked you the question: what about those who are not readers of the Bibles, those who are not Christians, those who are not religious people? And you said just like they read storybooks, they can as well just use that as a storybook, telling us that the Bible is a good business book and model for people who really want to have an effective and successful business. And you spoke about the wisdom of Solomon, and that Solomon was one of the great entrepreneurs and the richest entrepreneur and the wisest entrepreneur. So from him, we can learn a lot. And now you're concluding by saying that for us to really, really successfully understand these principles of prosumer, it is important to have mentoring. It's important to work continuously to add value to our lives. It is important to have a critical way of thinking. And I'm grateful that in August, we're going to be having this conversation again, and you're going to be having an in-depth, the students will have time to really have in-depth knowledge, because the aspect of critical thinking is that which I really think many people have a problem with, because of I think the emotions that is always attached to any kind of conversation, and then we forget how to be critical in our analysis and our thinking, as well as the mentoring aspect of it. Many people have never understood that it's really important to have mentors. I hear people say, but why do I look for a mentor? I looked for a mentor and ended up being the mentor of that person. I've heard that several times from different people, and I'm asking myself, okay, what is a mentor? Who is a mentor? And then you've really explained it. A mentor is someone who is there where you really want to be. So it means that there are different categories of mentors.
Yeah, the as mentoring is just a personal development relationship. It's a basic business personal development relationship in which more experienced or knowledgeable person as a mentor coaches and guides the protege or the mentee. So what you are looking at is a developmental, a personal developmental relationship that you want to have with somebody, where there is somebody who is more experienced, who has more knowledge, and then he is guiding you and his coaching is going to coach you. And it is not just a role model, because we have a lot of role models that a lot of people see Michael Jackson as a role model. A lot of people see Kanye West as role models, but they are not responsible for. They are not responsible. The exchange of thought, responsibility, accountability doesn't happen. You are not accountable. They don't ask you, what did you do today, or how have you done that tomorrow, or what are you going to do? They don't ask you all those things. All that you know is knowing about it. But when you're talking about mentorship, you need to get somebody whom you will be accountable to in terms of your goals, your objectives, and the targets that you have set. And there are examples. If you want me to give, that's why I said that the Bible is a good business. If you know about Moses and Joshua, you know about Naomi and Ruth,
yes,
Eli and Samuel, Jesus and his disciple, Paul and Timothy, Abraham and Lot, and even Jesus and Judas.
Yes, of course. This is an amazing conversation, Doctor. We can stay here the whole day. But the time is almost fast spent, and we're almost coming to the end of our conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you again. For those who are just joining in, we have been having a very important and a good interactive conversation with Dr. Marful. So I welcome you again. We have a very few minutes ahead of us. I welcome you again to a business conversation with Dr. Alexander Marful. And today we had the topic, a sustainable business model for Africa prosumers. And Dr. Alexander Marful said, prosumer is like making customers part of your production. That's a new business model for Africa's development. So, and of course, Dr. Alexander Marful will be one of our trainers during the master's class, the business master's class in August. And the business master's class came as a result of the refugee that came 2015, and it was our way to contribute to the development of the African continent. And so our part was to help young people become self-employed business people, and of course entrepreneurs, so that they can together with us one another build up our continent and develop the continent. So if you've not registered for the master's class already, make sure you register for the business master's class that is coming up from the 17th to the 22nd of August. Register using the academy.sunporn-socialservice.org. It is an intensive 1-week program from Monday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You don't want to miss this. All informations are on the website academy.sunporn-socialservice.org. Doctor, you have the last word. We are coming to the end of our program. You have a last word for the listeners.
Yeah, I must say that when we are actually going to, that's in August, we're going to also look at 8 steps to catalyze customers to prosumers, where you're going to help define, locate, prepare, execute, monitor, modify, and then you'll be able to conclude. So all these steps, in August, you'll be looking at them. But the key thing that I want to leave with you is that the most important thing, the reason why you have to be part of that particular class, is the fact that we are going to look at some trends, some current trends, which have potential seeds of innovation. So we will be picking up seeds of innovation through trends. And there are 20 trends that we have identified. 20 trends. I'll just give you roughly what's one of the trends. One of the trends that we look at is branding of everything. Currently, we know that branding, every human being, they are branding human beings, they are branding cars, they are branding companies. Branding of everything is one of the trends. So we will pick up a trend like that. It has a potential seed. How can you use this particular trend? What seed can you pick from it and use it to help your business or develop a business idea out of this trend? It's one of the things that you'll be looking at. So if you pick up branding of everything, for instance, if you are a good brand manager or you're somebody who is interested in branding, and then you know that now everybody is branded, then that means that if you don't have what it takes to brand a company, is it possible to take up people and brand them? Like we take some Madame Vera, I want to brand you. You give the person a concept. So that means that Madame Vera will be wearing every Monday, wearing maybe red, Tuesday green, and Wednesday blue. Or your lipstick, you are going to use only this color. Your hairstyle, you'll be doing this, so that this is how you're going to, you are branding the person. The same way, if you ask somebody to caricature Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany right now, there's the type of dressing she has will be the first that comes with his hairstyle. Or you want to brand, so the branding is normally, how do you see somebody in the 5 seconds? If you want to talk about New York, how do you see New York? It will be the Statue of Liberty. Paris will be what? The Eiffel Tower. Australia will be the Sydney Opera House. So that they use all those things to what? Brand those cities. So branding of everything is very important, which is one of the trends. So how do you pick a seed from it? It's one of the 20 trends that we've identified. So I just want to encourage us to be there so that we can pick up a seed and then use it to do something good for ourselves and for Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Again, an amazing moment with you. It has always been an amazing moment with you. And of course, I can't forget to mention the fact that Dr. Alexander Marful is also my mentor, my brother in the Lord. Thank you very much, Doctor. We meet shortly again. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our program, and we appreciate that you are always taking your time to be here with us. We encourage you to register for the program. You do not want to miss Dr. Alexander Marful, because again, he is the deal. Thank you so much. And we meet same time next week with another woman of the businesswoman of the week. So this week we had Dr. Alexander Marful as the businessman of the week. Take care of yourself. God bless you. My name is Vera Sompon, and I have been your host into this business conversation. God bless you and goodbye.